Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics: The Young and the Restless spoilers. Claire joins Kane's team. Victor's outrageous behavior backfires. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Kane Asheb, Billy Flynn, is creating a team of round pegs that he's attempting to fit into square soapy holes. Get updates on the latest news about The Young and the Restless straight to your inbox. We use your personal data for interest-based advertising as outlined in our privacy notice. What is this? Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, and Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, are clashing while another resident of Genoa City, Wisconsin, appears to be primed to join Kane's grandiose dream. Claire Newman, Haley Aaron, has had it with her grandfather, Victor Newman, Eric Braden. She is through giving him any leeway after the way he behaved toward Kyle Abbott. Michael Mueller, at the Newman Ranch. What was supposed to be a family gathering following the memorial service for Cole Howard J. Eddie Peck turned into an ugly affair. Victor's attempt to ignore Kyle while calling him out under the guise of veiled words proved to be more than Claire could accept. Kyle Abbott didn't tell the whole story. Claire's focused on her anger toward Victor, which is allowing her to suppress suspicion about whatever happened between Kyle and Audra Charles Zulia Silver in the south of France. What is this? Audra's run by Chancellor Park was a plot technique because it allowed her to have an unexpected yet likely damaging impact. She mentioned Kyle forgetting his phone charger in her train compartment, which was meant as a message. Claire knew Audra wanted her to be bothered by the implication and to believe that something romantically nefarious happened with Kyle. Mueller's character didn't tell Claire that he and Audra kissed, choosing to keep that part of the story hidden, because he fears she won't believe his truthful claim that he didn't betray her trust. Victor Newman ends the deal. Audra has a point. She did plant a seed in Claire's mind about Kyle. Add to that something she and Victor don't know. Kyle's withholding of the full story means that Claire will doubt his truthfulness whenever and however she comes to learn the unseemly details. Victor's summoning Audra to the ranch was intended to tell her that their deal is off because in his mind she failed to deliver. He also wants her to repay the first deposit he made into her account for Idra's ill-fated cosmetics rival to Jabo. Claire Newman drops both men in her life. The Newman patriarch may still realize his goal because Claire appears positioned to break from Kyle or betray him. Audra is out for revenge now, and will likely want to hurt Kyle by ensuring Claire knows all that happened in the train compartment on Kane's estate. What is this? Cole's sad death leaves Victor and Kyle as the two most important men in her life. She's determined not to allow Victor to control her life. But Kyle is on the precipice of falling out of favor with Claire as well. Claire may seek comfort through Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, who's been working for her per Kane's instructions. Part of that effort could easily lead to Claire aiding Kane's efforts to damage Newman Enterprises. This site is a leading source for everything linked to The Young and the Restless. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that Genoa City could be heading toward a stunning corporate shake-up as whispers grow louder about Claire Grace potentially aligning herself with Kane Ashby in a high-stakes business move that could change everything. For weeks, tensions have been simmering in the boardrooms and back channels of the city's most powerful families, but the prospect of Claire joining forces with Kane has the potential to push those tensions into a full-blown war. It's no secret that Kane has been carefully maneuvering his way back into relevance in Genoa City, quietly building relationships and seeking allies who could help him challenge the Newmans and Abbotts. While his public image has been relatively low-key since his return, insiders say Kane has been pulling strings behind the scenes, making offers and cutting deals that could put him back in the driver's seat of a major corporate power play. Claire's role in all of this is what has everyone buzzing. Having recently navigated the fallout from her own complicated family saga, Claire has been searching for a new path, one that gives her both independence and influence. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Aligning with Kane could provide her that opportunity, allowing her to step out of the Newman shadow and operate on her own terms. For Claire, the appeal isn't just about power, it's about redefining her reputation. She's been under scrutiny ever since her true parentage came to light, and every move she's made has been analyzed through the lens of her family connections. By joining Kane's team, she could finally have the chance to prove herself in a setting where she's not merely Victoria's niece or Cole's daughter, but a savvy and capable player in her own right. However, the move would not come without consequences. According to Y&R spoilers, Victor Newman will take this potential alliance as a personal insult and an outright challenge to his authority. Victor has been increasingly unpredictable in recent weeks, adopting a more controlling and aggressive approach to both his business interests and family affairs. His recent attempts to strong-arm certain key players in Genoa City have backfired, in subtle ways, but an alliance between Claire and Kane could be the most direct blow to his plans yet. Victor's behavior, described by some in town as outrageous, has alienated more than a few potential allies. His willingness to bulldoze anyone who doesn't fall in line has created friction even among family members, who usually support him without question. If Claire takes a stand by siding with Kane, it would send a loud and clear message that Victor's iron-fisted tactics no longer hold the sway they once did. Kane, for his part, may see this as the perfect opening to not only strengthen his business position, but also settle some old scores. He's been on the receiving end of Victor's manipulations before, and teaming up with someone from the Newman orbit could be his way of turning the tables. Y&R spoilers suggest that Kane's strategy involves more than just gathering allies. He's carefully piecing together a network of influence that crosses corporate and personal boundaries. By drawing in someone like Claire, who has inside knowledge of Newman dynamics, but is not fully entrenched in the family's loyalty structure, Kane could gain a powerful edge. Of course, the Newman family will not take this quietly. Victoria, who has had her own ups and downs with Claire, may see this as an act of betrayal. While she's tried to guide Claire in recent months, Victoria's allegiance to her father could put her in direct opposition to any move that undermines Victor's authority. This could lead to a deeply personal confrontation between aunt and niece, one layered with years of unspoken tension and family baggage. Meanwhile, other power players in Genoa City will be watching closely. The Abbotts, especially Jack, might see an advantage in any scenario that weakens Victor's grip, even if it means indirectly supporting a Kane-Claire partnership. Lily Winters, with her own complicated history with Kane, may also have a stake in how this plays out. Whether she chooses to involve herself to protect her own interests or simply to keep an eye on Kane's motives. What's especially intriguing about this storyline is how it blurs the lines between personal vendettas and business strategy. For Kane, bringing Claire on board isn't just about her skills, it's about symbolism. It's about showing that even those closest to Victor can be lured away if the opportunity and motivation are strong enough. And for Claire, it's about taking control of her own narrative, even if it means stepping into a storm. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Y&R fans know that when Victor feels threatened, he doesn't sit back, he acts. If Claire does join Kane, viewers can expect Victor to launch an all-out counteroffensive, using every resource at his disposal to sabotage their plans. This could include leveraging Newman Enterprises' influence, calling in favors from unexpected allies, or even engaging in more personal tactics designed to intimidate and destabilize his opponents. But here's the twist. Victor's aggressive response could be exactly what pushes more people toward Kane's side. Those who are tired of Victor's domineering style might view this as the perfect moment to break free from his shadow. And once the cracks in Victor's control begin to show, it could open the floodgates for others to challenge him in ways he never anticipated. The stakes are high and the outcome is anything but certain. Will Claire take the risk and join Kane's ambitious campaign, knowing it could ignite a war with her powerful grandfather? Will Kane be able to manage the fallout and keep his growing alliance intact? And perhaps, most importantly, can Victor Newman maintain his empire in the face of a rebellion that could be brewing from within his own family? One thing's for sure, if this alliance comes to pass, Genoa City is in for a battle that will pit loyalty against ambition, family against independence, and power against principle. The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for a corporate and personal showdown that could reshape the city's power map for years to come, and fans will be watching every twist with bated breath. This isn't just business, it's personal, and when those two collide in Genoa City, the fallout is always explosive. In the days following the first whispers of Claire's potential alliance with Kane Ashby, Genoa City becomes a hotbed of speculation. Corporate insiders, gossip columnists, and even those outside the usual business circles are buzzing about what this move could mean for the balance of power. Kane has been deliberately quiet about the rumors, offering only vague, non-committal statements when confronted by the press. But his close associates hint that he's been meeting privately with Claire at discreet locations to discuss strategy. This cloak-and-dagger approach only fuels the intrigue and raises the stakes as everyone tries to figure out whether this is truly happening or simply a clever smoke screen designed to rattle Victor Newman. Claire, for her part, is also playing her cards close to the vest. To those in the Newman family, she insists she's merely exploring her options and that nothing is final. but in private moments, she seems increasingly drawn to Kane's pitch, one that offers her the freedom to carve out her own role in Genoa City's high-powered corporate scene without constantly being compared to her family. She's tired of being judged on her last name. Tired of the whispers that she's only where she is because of her bloodline. Kane's offer represents a chance to prove to herself and to everyone else that she has the intelligence, instincts, and grit to succeed on her own merit. Meanwhile, Victor's outrage over the mere idea of Claire siding with Kane is becoming impossible to ignore. In board meetings at Newman Enterprises, his tone has grown sharper, his patience thinner. He's begun calling in favors and applying pressure to contacts across the city, trying to cut off any avenues of support that Kane might rely on. Yet, in doing so, Victor may be overplaying his hand. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Sources say some of his more heavy-handed tactics are starting to alienate even his closest allies, creating small but potentially dangerous fractures in his network of loyalty. Victoria finds herself caught in the middle. As both Claire's aunt and Victor's trusted lieutenant, she feels a responsibility to protect the family's interests, but she also recognizes that Claire is her own person, and forcing her into a corner might backfire. This internal conflict leaves Victoria walking a fine line, trying to keep the peace with her father while also avoiding pushing Claire away entirely. Kane, sensing an opportunity, begins quietly reaching out to others who might be dissatisfied with Victor's leadership. He understands that the key to winning this battle isn't just recruiting Claire, it's building a coalition of people who feel ready for a change. Among those he approaches are former Newman allies who have drifted away over the years, as well as business figures who have clashed with Victor in the past. His pitch is simple. Join him, and together they can create a new era in Genoa City, one that values collaboration over intimidation. Of course, not everyone is convinced. Some warn Kane that challenging Victor directly is a dangerous game, one that could destroy his career if it fails. But Kane's confidence is growing, especially as he sees how much attention the possible alliance with Claire is attracting. The more Victor reacts, the more it looks like Kane has struck a nerve, and that in turn strengthens his hand. Away from the corporate drama, the IPL effects are starting to be felt in personal relationships. Lily Winters, who has kept her distance from Kane in recent years, finds herself drawn back into his orbit as she tries to gauge his intentions. She knows how ambitious Kane can be, and she worries that his hunger for a comeback might lead him down dangerous paths. Still, part of her wonders if this bold strategy could actually work and what it might mean for her own position in the business world. Jack Abbott, always eager to see Victor knock down a peg, begins quietly monitoring the situation. While he's not ready to openly back Kane, he recognizes that a Newman family fracture could present opportunities for Jabao. Jack is too experienced to jump in too soon, but he's keeping his options open and his ears to the ground. Back at Newman Enterprises, the tension reaches a boiling point when Victor calls Claire into his office for a private meeting. According to spoilers, this conversation will be a turning point. Victor lays out his objections to her involvement with Kane, in no uncertain terms, reminding her of everything the family has done for her and warning her of the consequences of aligning with someone he considers a rival. Claire listens quietly, but rather than agreeing to back down, she leaves the meeting more determined than ever to make her own choices. It's becoming clear that this is not just a business decision for Claire, it's a personal stand. In the coming weeks, fans can expect this storyline to escalate into a full-scale battle for influence. Victor will not hesitate to use his considerable resources to block Kane and Claire at every turn, while Kane will continue to play the long game, using strategy and alliances to chip away at Victor's power. The real question is whether Claire is ready for the storm that's coming, and whether Kane can deliver on the promises he's making to his growing team. If the whispers are true and the alliance becomes official, it could mark the beginning of a seismic shift in Genoa City's power structure. And once the first move is made, there will be no turning back. This is shaping up to be one of the young and the restless most explosive corporate wars in years, and the fallout will be felt far beyond the boardroom. Victor Newman's reputation in Genoa City has always been that of a man who plays the long game. A master strategist who rarely makes a move without seeing several steps ahead, but the latest Young and the Restless spoiler suggests that even the mustache himself knows when to cut his losses. And that's exactly what's happening now as Victor abruptly ends a high-profile deal that has dominated business chatter for weeks. This move, swift and decisive, sends shockwaves through both the corporate and personal circles of Genoa City, leaving allies stunned, rivals emboldened, and everyone wondering what the real motive is behind Victor's unexpected decision. The deal in question had been touted as a gamicker, something that was supposed to further solidify Newman Enterprises' dominance and extend Victor's influence into new territories. The initial negotiations were complex but promising, and at one point, it appeared that all parties were aligned for a mutually beneficial partnership, but in true Victor fashion, he began tightening his grip, inserting clauses, and making demands that shifted the balance of the agreement in Newman's favor. While his hardball tactics are nothing new, this time it seems the other side wasn't willing to bend indefinitely. Behind closed doors, tensions reportedly escalated over the past several weeks with heated exchanges, postponed meetings, and ultimatums being tossed around like poker chips. Victor, ever the power player, believed he could wear down resistance through persistence and pressure, but when new complications arose, rumors of rival offers, shifting alliances, and a growing perception that Newman Enterprises might not hold all the cards, Victor made the call to walk away. To those close to him, the move feels calculated. Ending the deal before it collapsed on its own terms allows Victor to maintain the image of control, avoiding the appearance of defeat. Yet to others, this is a rare instance where Victor's legendary influence didn't yield the outcome he wanted. His decision has immediate ripple effects. For one, it leaves his would-be partners scrambling to recalibrate their own strategies. Without Newman backing, their plans may falter, but they could also turn to competitors, something that would be a bitter pill for Victor to swallow. Kane Ashby, who has been maneuvering to gain ground in the business world, is said to be watching closely. If the parties involved in the collapse deal are open to new alliances, Kane could swoop in to fill the void, potentially gaining the very leverage Victor hoped to keep out of his rival's hands. Inside Newman Enterprises, reactions are mixed. Victoria, always mindful of optics, understands her father's instinct to protect the family's reputation. But she's also wary of how this sudden exit might be perceived by the market. Adam, on the other hand, sees the fallout as an opportunity. With Victor stepping back from this particular deal, Adam might have a chance to insert himself into the vacuum and claim a win of his own. Whether or not it aligns with the company's long-term goals, Nikki, who has seen her husband make countless ruthless calls over the years, is privately concerned about the stress this failed venture might be placing on him. While she knows Victor thrives on competition and conflict, she also knows when a battle leaves its mark, and something about his abruptness suggests this one hit harder than he's letting on. The public explanation for ending the deal is as polished as one would expect from a Newman statement. Victor cites irreconcilable differences in vision and a commitment to focusing on ventures better aligned with Newman's core values. But in Genoa City, people know better than to take such statements at face value. Rumors swirl that the real reason involves confidential information uncovered during due diligence. Something so significant that Victor decided the risks outweighed the potential rewards. If that's true, then walking away wasn't just a tactical retreat, it might have been a necessary act of self-preservation for the company. Still, the optics are tricky. Victor is used to being the man who dictates terms, not the one who bows out. His rivals are already seizing on the narrative that this is a rare crack in his armor, proof that even the mustache can miscalculate. Jack Abbott, for instance, is reportedly reveling in the news, seeing it as confirmation that Newman dominance is not as unshakable as it once seemed. The coming weeks could be critical as Victor works to reassert control over the narrative. He'll likely seek out new ventures, perhaps even more aggressively than before, to remind everyone that he's still the man in charge. But whether this was truly a power move or a forced concession remains a matter of speculation. What's certain is that Genoa City thrives on the kind of uncertainty Victor's decision has created. Allies will test their loyalty, enemies will probe for weaknesses, and opportunists will look for ways to turn the disruption to their advantage. For fans, the intrigue is just beginning. Will Victor's next move silence the whispers and re-establish his dominance? Or will this be the start of a slow unraveling of his grip on the business world? Either way, the fallout from ending this deal promises to deliver exactly the kind of drama that keeps the young and the restless at the top of its game. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. The latest spoilers from The Young and the Restless reveal a turbulent and high-stakes power struggle brewing in Genoa City, centered around Claire Newman's potential alliance with Kane Ashby. Claire, frustrated by her grandfather, Victor Newman's controlling and aggressive behavior, especially following a family gathering marred by Victor's treatment of Kyle Abbott, is considering breaking away from her family's shadow to forge her own path. Kane, a crafty and strategic player aiming to regain influence and challenge the Newmans, sees Claire as a valuable ally who can provide insider knowledge and symbolic power to his cause. Victor, threatened by this possible alliance, has begun a forceful campaign to undermine Kane and deter Claire, employing heavy-handed tactics that risk alienating his closest allies. Amidst this corporate and familial tension, other key figures like Victoria Newman, Jack Abbott, and Lily Winters are navigating their own complex positions, balancing loyalty, ambition, and self-interest. Victor's recent abrupt termination of a major business deal once seen as a cornerstone for Newman Enterprises adds to the uncertainty, signaling cracks in his otherwise ironclad control over Genoa City's business landscape. As Claire contemplates her move, the city braces for a potential corporate and personal showdown that could redefine power dynamics, pit family loyalty against individual ambition, and ignite a fierce war between two powerful factions. The story promises intense drama, strategic maneuvers, and emotional confrontations, setting the stage for one of the most explosive conflicts the show has seen in years. Highlights: Claire Newman is considering joining Kane Ashby's team, challenging her grandfather, Victor Newman's authority. Victor Newman's controlling behavior backfires, causing fractures within his inner circle. Kane Ashby is quietly building a powerful coalition to rival Newman Enterprises. Claire's personal and business decisions threaten to ignite a family feud, especially with Victoria Newman. The corporate warfare blurs the lines between personal vendettas and business strategy. Victor abruptly ends a high-profile business deal, signaling potential vulnerabilities. Genoa City's power structure faces a seismic shift as alliances realign and tensions rise. Key insights: Claire's alliance with Kane represents a shift in family dynamics. Claire's decision to side with Kane is not just a business move but a personal rebellion against Victor's dominance. It symbolizes a younger generation's desire for independence and self-definition beyond family legacies. Claire's alliance may inspire others feeling stifled by Victor's iron-fisted rule to seek change, potentially fracturing the Newman family's unity. Victor's aggressive tactics risk alienating loyalists, while Victor's forceful methods have maintained his grip for years. His recent behavior, including efforts to strong-arm allies, has begun to erode his support base. This erosion could weaken his ability to control Genoa City's business and family affairs, making him vulnerable to strategic moves by Kane and others. The tension between maintaining power and fostering loyalty is a critical balancing act. For Victor, Kane Ashby's strategy is both symbolic and practical. Kane's recruitment of Claire is a calculated move that provides him with crucial insider knowledge of Newman family dynamics and a powerful symbol of Victor's weakening influence. Kane's approach extends beyond mere business rivalry. It's about shifting the narrative of power in Genoa City by showing that even those closest to Victor can be swayed. His coalition-building efforts indicate a long-term vision to dismantle Victor's empire, piece by piece. Victoria Newman's role as a mediator is fraught with conflict, caught between her loyalty to her father and her familial connection to Claire. Victoria faces a difficult position. Her attempts to mediate reflect the complex interplay of family loyalty, business interests, and personal emotions within the Newman family, highlighting how business decisions in Genoa City are deeply personal and often fraught with emotional consequences. The blurring of personal vendettas and business strategy raises the stakes. The intertwining of family drama with corporate warfare elevates the conflict's intensity. Power struggles are not just about control of enterprises, but also about personal pride, revenge, and legacy. This dynamic ensures that decisions carry far-reaching consequences beyond boardroom strategies, affecting relationships and alliances on multiple levels. Victor's abrupt deal termination signals a rare vulnerability. Victor's sudden walk away from a major business deal, long seen as a sure victory, suggests he's facing risks that outweigh potential gains. This move disrupts the corporate landscape, opening opportunities for rivals like Kane to capitalize on the uncertainty. It also indicates that Victor, usually a master strategist, recognizes when to retreat, though this could be seen as a sign of weakening dominance. The fallout will reshape Genoa City's power map. The unfolding events set the stage for a major upheaval in Genoa City's balance of power. As alliances shift and old rivalries reignite, the consequences will ripple through both the corporate and personal spheres. The storyline promises a gripping narrative of ambition, loyalty, and conflict that will keep viewers engaged as the city's future hangs in the balance. This detailed exploration of The Young and the Restless spoilers reveals a complex narrative web where business ambitions collide with family loyalties. With Claire Newman's emerging independence at the heart of a brewing storm, the evolving dynamics among Victor, Kane, Claire, and other key players forecast a thrilling and dramatic chapter in Genoa City's ongoing saga.